All right, guys, what is up here? This is December 24th, 2025. It is Christmas Eve. The market is going to have an early close here today. And I just want to go ahead and tell you guys what my daily recaps were and what I traded again. There's going to always be a common theme as of right now. And the common theme is honestly just metal commodities. So what did I trade and how did I trade it here today? So I trade SLV. I traded SLV. And
Post by Investors
all right,
Live.
let me close this out actually this time, guys. All right, I'm closing on my IU because I'm done trading. All right, so now how did I trade this, guys? I'm gonna try to break this trade down, so you guys can understand my trade style and what I look for. I've done this before, but recently in the daily recaps that I've been doing, I haven't been going into full detail as to why I'm trading the names that I'm trading. And I think that this could possibly help a couple of you guys understand what it is that I look for in the trade and why do I trade it and how do I trade it. So first and foremost, we have to look at the daily when we look at SLV. We're starting to get a bit overextended. As you guys know, I have been shorting SLV constantly really within the last week. And it's honestly been working. I've been having some really good success shorting it. Even in this uptrend, there have been a lot of dips where we get like really, really good setups. So one, this name is very, very overextended. So because it's overextended, I'm waiting for that mean reversion day. Now, no one knows when that big mean reversion day is going to happen. The only thing we can do is have a good setup and risk a good stop, right? Have your risk at a good level and your stop at a good level. Or your stop at a good level and have good reward. So, anyways, well, how did I trade this? So, 930 comes in, right? Which is this candle, or this candle, since it's 2-minute chart. 930 comes in. We rip up, we get this huge wick top, we fail to follow through. Why am I not shorting this right now? Ask yourself, why am I not partaking in this situation right here? Well, the reason why I'm not partaking is because we're actually still above previous day highs. So who's to say that even if this was to flush out, because you don't know how long this candle is going to be, right? You don't know you're going to get this complete flush out. So, and you don't know that when it dips here and holds pre-market lows, it's going to reclaim it and go up to V-shape. You don't know that. So then what do you wait for, right? There are traders, right? Like there's Nate and like these really, really high, very, very good established traders that know how to trade these parabolic moves to fade it. You don't have to do that. So what did I look for the trade? Well, it rips up, it comes back down, it gets back above previous day highs. You don't short this, guys. Like, I'm not saying you guys can't. If you have edge that allows you to short it, then you short it, right? But I'm not. So we get this dip back down. This is where I'm interested now. When we reclaim, how are we going to react to the pre-market lows? This is where I want to be entered at, guys. Right here. We have a descending VWAP. We have descending moving averages. And then we have the pre-market low. After being green on the day and holding above previous day highs, we are now red on the day and holding below it. So we get this pop. As soon as this starts to fail, I enter right here, guys. I enter at the bottom of this wick. So I get in right here, right? Because here's the wick. This is where it's soaked. So I want to make sure that this is not a soak spot here. So I wait. After this candle goes from green to red and fails to follow through, now it's failing VWAP. Now it's failing pre-market lows. And now it's going back to the descending moving averages, guys. That's three things that is in the favor of my trade. Now, you might ask yourself, well, where's your stop? My stop, guys, is right here. This is my stop, right here. Just a little bit above this high. A little bit above. So we're talking a almost less than a 20-cent stop, guys. This is like a what? A 13-cent stop? I have almost a 13-cent stop right now on some sides, on some SLV, and we get this complete rollout. Now, I am proactive. So what I did was I covered right here because this can be seen as a double bottom. And I covered like literally so let me remove this because that's the double bottom. I covered like right here. This is where I covered. I literally almost got the lows of the lows. I covered about right there. This bids back up and it flushes under. Now, Some people, when it breaks this double bottom low, they're going to be like, oh, this is going to completely roll over. Brother, you don't enter that. You do not enter that. The reason why I would not want to enter that right now on SLV and why I didn't rescale back into the position even after this pop failed to follow through, the reason why is because this is not indicative of a mean reversion yet, right? The real mean reversion trade happens when SLV or any of these commodity names are starting to break previous day lows. You want to know what previous day lows is? I'm going to show you guys right now. You guys want to see a real trend shift? 62.37. You have to fail that in order for the real mean reversion to kick in, right? This is just a trade. This is just a trade. This is not the mean reversion yet, guys. Look at the daily. I mean, the market's still going. But how many people you think just got trapped under 64? Probably a shit ton, right? Probably a shit ton of people just got trapped. While I was being smart and being proactive, there's probably a lot of people that got hammered. They hammered in here thinking that today was the day. And today was not the day. We're back above previous day highs. So I covered right here. Really, really good trade. I mean, what are we talking? That's 13 cents. And I made, what, 54 cents? So that's almost like 5R. I made 5R on this trade, guys. So when people ask, or when people are like, oh my God, how do you do these 5R trades, these 10, 20, 30R trades? Guys, you just have to wait for the proper setup. When you get these confluence in your favor, that is when you get the trade that you want. So let me go ahead and yet again restate how I got into this trade and why. Overextended on the daily. Meanwhile, my bias is still that this is bullish. It flushes, right? It loses green on the day. It loses previous day highs. Flushes, tries to get above the pre-market low, fails it. I get in on the bottom of this wick support that's no longer support because it's failing to follow through VWAP and pre-market lows. I cover, right, because it's not losing the EMAs. I covered into a double bottom low, assuming it was going to hold, which it did. Fails to follow through. People probably more than likely got trapped below here, and they got shit on coming back up. Now, I did trade another trade here. I actually, when it got above VWAP, I re-entered in the same exact spot, guys. I re-entered up here. I caught this flush out right here, and I covered. I covered my whole position right here. I re-entered on maybe like 65% of the size that I had. I re-entered in an immediate cover right here. Now, why did I do that? Because I don't know if this is going to continue to fail, guys. I don't know. So, as soon as I get that big flush in my favor, I'm covering into that, and I can always re-enter the position. So, if this was going to fail and this was going to be the mean reversion, right, you're more than likely going to see like a low, a pop, a low, a pop, a low. That is why. And those pops will allow you to get back into the trade. Now, what we didn't see was it failed. It didn't lose any of my EMAs, right? The EMA cloud is green, which means that it's holding above the daily 21, or not the daily 21, but the 21 EMA. It didn't fail that. And now it's just grinding back to the upside. So this is not in play for me anymore. It's done. My trade's done. I took a W here, took a W here for a quick. This was a scalp. This was an actual trade. And that's how I traded SLV. Now, I did go ahead and also trade AVGO here today. And what did I find in AVGO? Well, it's pretty simple, right? The prior day, we ended up holding above the daily 100 SMA. I was just looking for a simple continuation play. Now, straight off the gate, this is not an opportunity for me. Like a straight up move, I'm not getting into that, right? Like, this is just very, very difficult to get into because you don't know if this is going to roll over, right? So, what did I do? Well, it's simple, guys. I wait, right? You will make more money sitting on your hands and waiting for an opportunity in trading than you will ever make chasing something. 100%, guys. Yet again, you will make more money waiting on the setup than rushing the setup. So while this happened, well, what am I waiting for? I'm going to wait for a pullback right? This is previous day close and pre-market lows. It pulls back, it holds it, it rips up. I actually get in right here. I get in around this vicinity. And now I'm using 350s as the guide and these pivot lows as my stop. So I have like my stop maybe just right under this, right? Because we have these topping wicks. We have this bottom wick. We have this flush out that got reclaimed. We have this bottom wick here. So this is my stop, guys. My stop. This is where I entered in around here. And we get this nice move up. Now, unfortunately, guys, I didn't catch the maximum of this move. I actually took profits right here. So what am I risking here? So let's say I got in, because I was in at here. This is about, what, 40 cents? So 40 cents. And I make, this is 350 tens. I make a full point off of this. So what is this, 40 cents yet again? And then I make a full point and some change off of this, guys. That's about 2.5 to 3R in this trade right here, guys. Yet again, what was the reason for that? I'm sorry, my dog is going crazy. Let me see what she wants. Hold up, give me a second. Here, go outside. Alright, I'm sorry, guys, I'm back. My dog was in my room, like, vibing, and now she's not vibing. So, but, you notice, guys, this is a right, we have the low, we have a high, we have a low, we have this family VWAP, right? But it forms a higher low base, and then it rips up. Now, it's also holding, guys, previous day highs. This is so imperative to know. It starts holding previous day highs, making higher lows. This is why I'm bullish on it, right? This is why I was bullish on it. And what also helps me, guys, is this buy is making new all-time highs. So, why am I going to short any name? It does not matter. Why am I going to short anything when all I have to do is try to find what looks like it's catching some strength and ride that wave while this buy is riding a wave to the upside? You understand what I'm saying? If the SPY is going up, I'm looking for things that are going up. If the SPY is in a range, I am looking for either things that are relatively weak or relatively strong. If the SPY is weak, I'm looking for what's weaker than the SPY. This is a simple concept for you guys to grasp. So when you guys see the SPY or ES or QQQ or whatever it is that your vehicle is of choice, that is how you determine where the relative strength versus relative weakness is, and that is where you can attack. Because here's the thing, right? Why in the world would I be interested in longing Google today, right? And notice how quick I was to bring this name up. Why would I want to be longing Google when it's red on the day? This is relatively weak versus the SPY, guys. Why would I be looking at that name? And how many people you probably think are trading Google because, oh, it's on a dip? It doesn't make sense. You know, make trading a little bit simpler, guys. Try to look for things that are relatively strong or relatively weak. While this was not the best name to trade, it was still a successful trade because it was holding above previous day highs and key components, right? We have that 350, which is a psych level. We have these higher lows. If you want to, right, you could draw that horizontal line like I did. I like drawing horizontal lines, but you could have also just drew a trend line, right? Hello? Can I get a trend line drawn? What is happening here? There we go. You also have this trend line, guys. It breaks the trend line. Like, trading does not have to be overcomplicated. Find out what's relatively strong, what's relatively weak, and then depending on market conditions, you attack, like if the market's going down, you're going to attack something that's weaker than the market because more than likely that's going to keep going down. Or when the SPY is strong, find things that are holding above previous day highs. That's relative strength. And that is how I attack the day on AVGO. And then silver, obviously, it's commodity, so it's a little bit different. But I hope that this was a very, very good breakdown as to what I look for on a daily basis in the market. This is just one of many strategies that I do have. And I feel like a lot of you guys might be able to learn from it. So this was a very, very good day for me. And I feel like this is a really, really great breakdown, in my opinion, as to what I look for in trades and how I trade. And remember, guys, I'm always a bit proactive, especially near end of weekend holidays. I'm always a bit more proactive in my trades which is why I sold my calls and my longs here, and I didn't catch like this extra like 60 cents. You know, I don't want to see how pre-market highs is gonna react, right? So I'm very, very proactive there. But that was my trades. I hope you guys like the trade recap. I hope you guys like the breakdown of the trades. And that is all for today, guys. Tomorrow's Christmas, so there's going to be no trading. And on Friday, I don't know if I'm going to trade. I always say that I'm not going to trade, but then I always end up trading. Actually, let me pull up my Tradeify, guys. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to pull up my Tradeify because I want to show you guys that I am green again in my Tradeify account. Since we are being since you guys are seeing me on this futures run really quick, let me pull up my Tradeify account here because I made another $300 in my Tradeify account. So let me go ahead and show you guys. Let me copy everything over really quick, log in, and let me show you what I traded here. It was actually pretty simple. I traded gold again. So here is my trades that I took. As you guys can see, the P&L is $307. What did I trade really quick here? I traded a very quick scalp, guys. And this is actually one of my favorite patterns. I probably will make a complete separate video on this. But this was just a very, very fast scalp that I went ahead and took. I got short on gold right here, around here. And I did just a very fast cover, I believe, right here. This is where I covered at. And that's how I made my 300 bucks. Now, you guys might ask, well, dude, this is your favorite pattern. Why didn't you go with more size or anything like that? Tradeify has one of the stupidest rules. It's one of the best prop firms because you can instantly get funded. But it has one of the stupidest rules where it's a 20% consistency rule. And I would have held through this, honestly. If I was trading a personal account or anything like that, I would have held this. But because it's Tradeify and there's a 20% consistency rule, if I was to make 10 racks out of this trade right now, that means that in order for me to get a payout, the 10,000 has to be 20% of my total profits. Which, as you guys can see, my total profits is $670 within the last 2 days. So that is the reason why, unfortunately, I can't take the full moves. But at least it's just, all I need to do is honestly scout, right? Literally all I have to do is scout. And with a scalp, I'll be able to like make $300 because futures is that fucking wild. But that's basically it, guys. So my Lightning's doing very well. My options account is doing really well. And that is basically it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I'm out of here. Later, guys. Oh, I will break down, guys. I will break down why this is one of my favorite patterns in a video. Maybe tomorrow or tomorrow. Because tomorrow's a day off, right? I'll make sure that I go over a video on why this is one of my favorite patterns in the market, okay? So, hope to see you guys in that video. And I'm out of here, guys. Take it easy. Have a safe Christmas. Enjoy yourself. Don't get too drunk. And that's all. Later, guys.